I'm just done being a perfectionist because I can't spend a whole hour doing my eyebrows just for it to go back to being like that. And I can't. Nothing is gonna be perfect. And I feel like a lot of us have relegated ourselves to the background and accept to be given second-hand treatment because we think that we need to be perfect before we can earn dignity and respect from people. But this video is to help you stop negotiating your worth because you are too priceless to keep settling for the things that make you feel less of yourself. I feel like a lot of us women, especially those of us in our late teenage and early 20s, discredit and discount our worth just because we think we've messed up a few times. But that you've made a few mistakes does not mean that you don't deserve to have anything good, a good man, or enjoy the life you wish you could enjoy. This right here is a 20 cedis note. If I should tear this money into two, take it back and give it to you, would you take it? Yep. If I should crumple the same money, put it in the trash can, somebody finds it, straightens it up, and use it to buy something worth 20 cedis, would they take it? Yep, they would take it. Because even though this money had been among the trash, its value remained the same. And the same thing happens with our individual worth. Our value as human beings is not dependent on our job, social status, or the external circumstances that happen in our lives. And so today I'm going to share with you 5 ways to heal your self-worth, boost your self-confidence, and be the you that you want to be. And the first thing I want us to look at is to stop settling. One thing about settling is that you set yourself up from any kind of respect that you stand to gain. Not only will you start thinking that you're not deserving enough of any respect from anyone, but your environment begins to flow into you. We settle because we think that we don't deserve anything better than what we have right now, or we feel like there are no chances for us to get anything better than we could have gotten. You become toxic, discredit yourself at any given chance, and start sabotaging yourself unconsciously. You start believing in yourself to some extent, and you start seeking external validation because that is how you thrive. You owe it to yourself to detach from the mindset that keeps you accepting offers that insult you to your face, because accepting to be average, it's a choice. Accepting to be a side chick when you can get a man of your own that will value and treat you with respect, it's also a choice. You need to realize that God gave you life first before any of those things. So it's your obligation to God to make choices that make your life better, not choices that relegate you to the background and make you settle for second-hand, embarrassing treatment when you can get better, way better with the plans that God have for you. Do not choose to rely on anyone's validation because that is really cheap and it makes you sacrifice your belief in yourself. The next thing I want to talk about is to change your belief and perception of yourself. If you think that you're fat and ugly, you will really feel fat and ugly. If you think you are them, you won't feel any better. People treat you how you feel about yourself, because how you feel about yourself manifests in the way you treat yourself. The more value you put on yourself, the more respect people are going to have for you. If you discredit yourself and talk trash about yourself at every given chance, you begin to feel trashy. People are going to give you the trash treatment because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And what you speak, you act. Never look down on yourself because it makes you treat yourself with disrespect. That God made you so, that God created you, is enough to be valued by people. Scriptures admonish us not to think of ourselves so highly. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not talking about being arrogant and petty and thinking other people are second-class citizens. No, you need to hold yourself in high regard. Put so much value on yourself because people are going to treat you the way you treat yourself. And if you do not value yourself, if you don't respect yourself, if you think that you are nothing, people will see you like that. It's time for you to flip the script on how you think about yourself, on how you see yourself, because that is how others are going to treat you. Next thing I want us to talk about is to walk away from toxic people and make room for healthier relationships. So there was a time that I was trying to single-handedly change everything in my toxic relationship, not knowing that I was the problem. I was the problem for choosing to stay and constantly get discouraged, to the point that even though I knew that God was putting it in my heart to walk away, I could not. I refused to walk away because that was the only thing I knew how to do. I refused to look beyond that moment because I thought that my future was going to be blank without that person in it. But what happens is that when you stay in this kind of toxic situations for so long, you begin to actually believe that we deserve the kind of bad treatment that we are currently receiving. We find ourselves jumping from one toxic relationship to the other because we don't know what it means to be treated with respect. And that is why it's very important to change your perception about yourself, change your circle of people, and be willing to let go of people and situations that do not serve you. Next thing I want us to talk about, which I was surely going to talk about in this video, is to set standards for yourself. Watch how people treat you and set boundaries as to how they need to treat you. And you don't need to go tell people, make noise, these are my standards, these are the rules. No, you can do that by acting it out respectfully. You need to know what you want and how you expect people to treat you, because that forms the basis of how people relate to you. Don't wait for life to happen to you and your relationships, because that's kind of chaotic. You begin to attract all kinds of rubbish into your life because you don't have a yardstick of determining who and what comes into your life. It's almost like you're just being tossed back and forth by the tide, because you don't really know what you want. You don't really know what you deserve. You don't really know what your life is worth. It's all about not being arrogant, but knowing and believing that God has made you with so much worth, and so you refuse to lower your standards for the people who do not see it. You need to stand up for yourself and not allow yourself to become a people pleaser at your workplace, in your relationship, and in any situation you find yourself. I believe in being humble and serving others, but not to the extent that I'll be used as a rag just for other people's pleasure. No, it doesn't have to go like that. Know what you want from life and have standards as to how people need to treat you. Next thing I want us to talk about is to stop comparing yourself to others, because much of the competition we see today comes from the fact that we compare a lot. A major part of the reason why we feel we aren't enough is because we are constantly comparing ourselves and our journey to somebody else's journey. But that won't work. It will only end up making you feel frustrated, because we all have different self-concepts, we all have different destinies, and different situations happen to us at different times. I'm willing to even go slow and be in my own lane, because my purpose in life is to be my truest, highest version of myself, and not to become a copycat of other people. Don't be caught in the competition, because that kills your self-esteem. When you look back and realize that you're not where they are, you begin to lose faith in yourself. You begin to feel like you're not doing well enough. Of course, you need to double down on the effort you put in the things you do in life if you're not doing so. But if you know you're doing your best, then there's no need to compare yourself to anyone. You're not racing anyone, so there's no need to constantly look back over your shoulders to see if they are coming. It's frustrating, I know, to just look around and see other people have the things that you only have the pleasure of dreaming about. But that doesn't matter. Once you start focusing on the things that truly matters to you, any other thing begins to fade away. Your focus and the importance you place on the things in life begins to shift drastically. And this next point might seem unrelated, but it's one thing that fuels our level of insecurity to a higher dimension, and it is to limit how much time you spend on social media. Because like myself, all you may want is to just scroll for a few minutes and get some form of entertainment to relax yourself, but you end up coming back with this feeling of not being enough and not having enough, because you just saw somebody who is way below your age have a very perfect and beautiful life. But first of all, nobody goes on social media to show how ugly they are. Nope, nobody does that. So if you keep scrolling and allow that to fuel your insecurities about yourself, then you are your own problem. Honestly, you are the cause of your problem. Why not channel that same energy you used to worry about people and their falsified lives into developing yourself? We have so much to be grateful for, and perhaps you can make your life better by practicing more self-love. And if you want to know more about self-love, I want you to watch this video where I share with you some of my self-love tips that has helped me in my journey of self-improvement. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know how you feel about this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and until I see you next time, take care.